Hi everybody! Today we have a litter update video for you for our medium Australian Labradoodle puppies from our box of chocolates litter. Hi, I'm Claire from Isle Doodles, and in today's video we're going to go through each of the puppies in the litter, and this is their 2-week update, and we are going to be telling you about the milestones these puppies have reached over the past week, give you an update on how much they weigh now, and we're also going to tell you a little bit about some tummy upsets these puppies have had in the past few days. So first of all, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the puppies and their tummy upset. So puppies have a very, very fragile immune system. It's very easy for them to have a very minor bacterial issue cause them a considerable amount of distress. So you may not know this, but for all dogs, the infant mortality rate is 20%. So it's very high. And usually it comes from some sort of bacterial infection, which leads to diarrhea and then dehydration. And that can come from any number of places. It could be as simple as something that might be on our clothing when we come in. It can be from the skin on mom after she's been outside to go to the bathroom. It can be something on her paws. It can be any number of things. And of course, we and other breeders have dogs in their home with them, and those dogs also have things on their paws too. Now, some breeders like to put their puppies in a little isolation cocoon. They don't allow their moms to go out except for in a very small controlled area. They don't allow anybody in. They really limit everything. And yes, that does cut down on the risk of bacterial infections. However, it also doesn't do anything to help your puppies develop their own strength in terms of their immune system. So we prefer to have a more realistic approach and help the puppies to develop a strong bacterial immunization, or immunity rather, within their own systems the natural way, just like you would with a child. So what's happened with these puppies over the past few days is the first thing that we noticed was they had what we call wet bums. And when we say a wet bum, we just can see that in this general area and often up into the tummy area, the puppies are wet. So that usually means there's a problem with the poop, and that means the poop is probably a little bit diarrhea-like. And then we are always weighing the puppies. We weigh the puppies pretty much every day. After the first week, we weigh them every other day. But when we notice anything like that, then we go back to weighing them twice a day. And if they start to lose weight, then we become a little bit concerned. And now we also check to see if they're hydrated. And that's a really simple thing to do. You just go like this, and you'll see how this puppy's skin is slow to go back. This means this puppy is right now slightly dehydrated. And we just go through and see that one right back. This puppy is hydrated. This puppy needs what we call sub-Q fluids. So how do we do that? We have a very, very fine needle. We pinch the skin like this between the shoulder blades. We take the needle and put it subcutaneously under the skin, and then we have a saline solution which is called Ringer's lactate, and we hydrate them with that. We inject it right into them. It's a really funny process because once they have had the fluid injected, they get this big hump here. It looks like a camel, and that is all the fluid, and then it takes a few moments for the fluid to be absorbed by their bodies and their systems. So we will check right now with these puppies. We will check about 5 times a day to see what their hydration level is like. So when all of the puppies had lost a bit of weight, we made an appointment to take them to the vet, because once they're losing weight, then that's when you become concerned. So, and we took a fecal sample in as well, and indeed they do have a minor infection. So they're all receiving a very broad spectrum, very gentle, general purpose antibiotic that's called Clavamox. And then on top of that, what we're doing is, as we always do, we are giving them probiotics, and that helps their gut microbiome stay in balance despite being given antibiotics. And then we also have a couple of other natural little things that we give them to keep everything working well. But the good news is they all seem to have improved. They are all back to gaining weight as they should. They're all nursing happily. You can see nobody's distressed, nobody's crying, nobody's carrying on. The reason why we don't have Kahlua here right now is because her guardians are here to visit her. So she's out with them, and that gives us just a little bit more time and space to show you all of these things we wanted to show you. And you can see that probably on a couple of the puppies, when we look at them today, you'll see that their bums are not perfectly clean. Puppies this age are too young to give a bath to. The last thing you want is for them to become chilled. So the other thing we did was crank the temperature up in here. Kahlua doesn't like that because Kahlua is what we call a hot dog. So she's warm all the time. So that means she doesn't like to come and lay in here as much with the puppies. So we try to do it in little bits so that when Kahlua's in, the heater's not on and she's more comfortable. And when Kahlua is not here with the puppies, then the temperature is turned back up so that they are not chilled at all. But you can see they're together, but they're not all piled on top of each other in a heap, which is what they would be doing if they felt chilled. You can tell just by touching them as well that they are comfortable and warm temperature. So we suspect that in the next few days that everything will be back to normal and they'll be right as rain again. And if for any reason we feel they're not improving or things are taking a turn for the worse, then of course off we go back to our veterinarian for assistance in dealing with whatever little thing it is that has been bothering them. But this is quite a common thing with puppies. Breeders face this all the time. Many people don't like to share with you when the puppies are not well or if there's anything that's not perfect, but we always figure it's a good opportunity for everyone to learn a little bit about puppy health. And also, when you have your puppy at home, if your puppy experiences diarrhea or an upset stomach, you realize that it's not because you've done something wrong, but it's just a matter of these things do happen. And you can see here on Black Collar, he's a really good example because he's white. You can see he has some staining on his tummy here and his legs. Hey, what's the matter with you with all that talking? You can see that staining there, and that is all from the fact that when he had his wet bum and when he had diarrhea, it tended to get on top of him. So the other thing we're doing is we're changing their bedding every few hours, just so that there is no risk of the infection sort of perpetuating itself and anybody becoming cross-contaminated from it. But you can see Black Collar is quite relaxed and happy. They're all sleeping well. Nobody's in any distress. Blue Collar's got a lot to say. Dark Blue Collar here. Not too sure what he's got all the talking about, but he does have lots of talking right now. So now we'll go through each of the puppies in their birth order and do our usual update. And we'll see if anybody's going to show us any open eyes. We do have open eyes, but the puppies are under some stress because they're not feeling well. So that makes them a little bit more tired. So they may not open their eyes completely for you. But once they are back on track, I will keep doing little Facebook videos for you so that we can see everyone with their eyes open. And next week we will take photos of them individually and we'll get them to open their eyes then. So our firstborn in this litter is Yellow Collar. Hello, sweetheart. Come here, baby. Yellow Collar. Here we go. This little girl does have her eyes open. She was actually the very first puppy to open her eyes. And I will see if she's going to show them to us today or not. Now, Yellow Collar this morning is weighing in at 750 grams. So despite having those upset tummies, the puppies have all reached that really important mark of doubling or more their birth weight by day 10. That is something we're always keen to see, is that by day 10 to 12, that the puppies have doubled their birth weight. So little Yellow Collar, when they were first ill, none of them lost more than about 20 grams. So really a very insignificant amount of weight loss, but at this age, any amount is something you really want to be on top of. So this beautiful little chocolate phantom girl is just doing great. And we'll see, now that we have them here, we'll check everyone for their hydration level. And Good. You see how that fur went, or that skin rather, went right back down. So she's good. She doesn't need any extra sub-Q fluids or to be rehydrated. Not at this point. Maybe later today we will have to do it. So that's our beautiful chocolate phantom yellow collar girl. Next we have orange collar. Orange collar girl is also a chocolate phantom. Now if you look at the back of her coat, you'll see that she has some waves on there. That means she's probably going to be a little bit more curly than yellow collar, who doesn't have those same waves. Yellow collar, or orange collar rather, is also a chocolate phantom, but she has some white markings on her chest, on her little goatee, and then she has these little dipped toes. And there's her eyes. There, you're going to show us your eyes, good girly. Yeah, look at those beautiful eyes. Now, if you didn't know already, puppies are all born with blue eyes. They don't retain those blue eyes. They will change color. So for the puppies who are chocolate, those eyes will become a dark brown color, similar to mine. And for the party puppy, the caramels, and the caramel party puppy, their eyes will be more of a hazel type of color. So they all have just the most beautiful eyes. Now we've also been doing our early neurological stimulation with the puppies, where we do something like put them upside down like this. There you can see those white markings. And we rub their tummy. And the purpose of this is to have the puppies have an experience during the day that is not a normal one, with a good result, so that they're not stressed by it. So that they learn like, oh, it's okay. Something strange happens, but I'm all right. I'm safe. They've also all had their nails clipped. Those nails get so sharp, and that's so uncomfortable for the mama Labradoodle. So all these little Labradoodle puppies have had their nails cut already. And orange collar girl is currently 775 grams, doing really well. Next we have light blue collar. Light blue collar is the heavyweight of the litter. Oh my goodness, buddy. I can hardly lift you. You're so heavy, right? Now what about your eyes? Are you going to show anybody your pretty eyes? Oh, are you? Are you going to open them? Oh no, maybe not today. I'm just so tired. Light blue is also a chocolate phantom. But light blue is what we called a weak phantom. And that's because, as you see on his legs here, the tan points are not as predominant as they are on other dogs. And indeed, they're almost banded, sort of like a brindle look. Yeah, don't you quite a little brindle look? Oh, that's a handsome boy. Now the puppies, even though they are opening their eyes, their ears haven't followed suit yet. That will take about another 5 days to a week before they start to hear us. And Mr. Light Blue Collar is 958 grams. Now he is the only puppy who lost some weight overnight. Last night when I put him to bed, he was 977 grams. So he's one we're keeping an extra close eye on today. Just to make sure, I'll weigh him again around the early afternoon and see how he's doing then. And then we'll check again when we go to bed. And we'll just do a little, oh, perfect, he's fully hydrated. And I know he's nursed really well. I was here when he was nursing. This puppy has a beautiful Labradoodle head while we're here. Lovely, lovely stop on the dog. Nice broad head, not a domey kind of look. Very short, nice snout there. Beautiful puppy and very solid. There we go, Mr. Handsome. Next is brown collar. Brown collar, honey, come over here. Now you'll see before I pick the puppies up, I always touch them. Now right now we are doing a lot of things with them and a lot of things that they don't enjoy. So you can imagine having somebody come pinch your skin all the time and then occasionally pinch your skin, stick a needle in and stick a bunch of fluid under you. It's really not your idea of a fun day as a puppy. And also when you're not having that done, you're having somebody come and make your mouth open. They're putting a syringe in your mouth, and some of the things that are going in your mouth are not particularly tasty. It's really quite funny to watch them sometimes when I give them their probiotic. Their probiotic is Oli's New Beginnings. It's the product that we sell through Curated Canines for all our puppies and our adult dogs. And it has apple cider vinegar as one of the ingredients. So that's quite a strong taste. So when I give that to them with the syringe, it's They run around like this, trying to get away from their tongues. They put their tongues out and shake their heads. They're like, ew, why do we have to have this? So it's really quite funny to watch. And then the other item that we give them right now is called Benebat Plus. And that is a natural product that just has some digestive enzymes in it and some micronutrients in it. And they just get an infinitesimal little tiny bit, about 1/4 of the size of my baby fingernail. And that's a paste, or gel really, and that goes on the roof of their mouth. That has a flavor that they quite like. And their Clavamox that they get, their antibiotic, they don't seem to mind the taste of it too much, but the probiotic is definitely not a favorite thing. Now, on this handsome baby, on this Mr. Brown collar, you can definitely see his peepers there. He's showing everybody what open eyes look like, and you can really notice the blue color of his eyes against his pretty caramel coloring. Now this guy is a caramel, and you can see he also has all these pretty amounts of white on him to set off this beautiful golden caramel color. White on the face, the chest, and you can see that he's a little bit, oh, I don't want to do any of those things. I don't think that I want to do any of this, because you're probably going to stick something in me. Mr. Brown collar is 870 grams, and you can see that they're very robust. They're definitely not weak, and well able to tell you when they don't want to do something. So there you go. Mr. Brown collar is, we call Dove sometimes, and sometimes we call him a kitty. He has the most interesting array of sounds, I think, of any Labradoodle puppy we have. He'll coo like a dove, and he will also make a sound that sounds like a tomcat looking for a queen cat. So he's quite a character. When we had him at the vet yesterday, he was doing all sorts of communicating, and our vet was really getting a chuckle out of him and his performance, as we call it. Next we have Black Collar Boy. That's our little caramel party boy. Hey buddy, here we go. Now this was the first puppy who was showing us that he wasn't feeling well. And part of the reason for that is it's much easier to see that on a white puppy than on a dark color puppy. This little fellow, you will see so many changes in him over the weeks. So now you can see on the side of his face here, he has a beautiful splotch of caramel coloring. Also over here on the side of his face, then he has these two really pretty spots on top of his head. And he has a nice one developed right down here near the base of his tail. And I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see a couple more in the body come along as time goes on. You want to show everybody your pretty blue eyes? Now this puppy, because he has so much white on his face, his blue eyes are really spectacular. They are really just, oh, look at those. Oh, look at those pretty eyes. Oh, yes, you're just the most beautiful puppy, aren't you? Now, Mr. Black Collar is still not quite back to himself. He usually is a bit like Brown Collar, a little bit of a fuss budget, and you can see he's starting to show that right now. But because he has not been feeling well, he's a little bit slower to be a fussy pot. So Mr. Black is 748 grams, doing really nicely with his weight gain, even though you didn't feel well for a little bit there. There we go, Mr. Black. Next we have Mr. Green Collar. Mr. Green Collar, you can see, oh, what a beautiful color and so shiny. It's just love how shiny all the coats are on these puppies. Hi, there we go, handsome. And you can see he has his eyes open very nicely, and then he's going to share those with you. Hey, now this puppy has these beautiful streaks of caramel highlights in the top of his head here. And then you can see his phantom markings on the side of his face. And then he has those same sort of weak markings on his legs where they're brindled as opposed to a solid tan point that we usually see on a phantom. Now, can Labradoodles have brindle? They can. You can have a brindle. But the test for that is not available yet and isn't particularly accurate. So you just have to use your eyes. But these puppies, when we have these kinds of striations in their color, it is very similar to a brindle type of marking. Here you go, Mr. Handsome. And handsome Mr. Green Collar Boy, he is weighing 809 grams. Now this morning he was dehydrated. He did have sub-Q fluids, but he did really well overnight. He went from 789 grams when he went to bed to 809 grams this morning. So that is a really nice weight gain. That's what we like to see on the overnight with the puppies. So I think he's feeling a little bit better. Hey, buddy? That's so tired, though. Just so tired. Next, we have dark blue collar, who's over here. Oh, I'm just going to move my leg. In a typical Labradoodle pose, upside down, sleeping. Not having too many cares in the world. Come on, buddy. Oh, there you go. Dark blue is another one of these beautiful caramel puppies, and dark blue has lots of really interesting white abstract markings on his head. He's got the white going up from his nose right up the center of his face, white around his nose, and there he's showing you his very pretty eyes. Hello, handsome. What a good boy. And he has quite a bit of white on his chest. On his paws is quite a bit of white too. He has more than just dipped toes. He has actual white feet. So when he gets older, you'll see that white on his feet for longer than the ones that just have dipped toes. Yeah, how you doing, buddy? Oh, so handsome. And dark blue is 872 grams. So again, they're all, next time we do an update, they're all going to be over a kilogram. And we'll just check him. Nicely done. And he did have sub-Q fluids this morning, so I would anticipate that he would be completely hydrated and no problems in that department. So that's Mr. Dark Blue. Next we have purple. And this litter is opposite from our litter of mini Labradoodles with Dottie, where we only have one boy. In this litter we have all boys except for the first two puppies who were girls. It'd be nice if they would be a little bit more evened out, but apparently that didn't happen with Mother Nature's plan this time. This little chunker here, now this is a smaller puppy. Purple is weighing in at 709 grams, and she's the smallest in terms of weight, but she is just a chunker. She is such a healthy little thing in terms of her weight. She's beautifully put together. This is a really juicy puppy. She's just a lovely puppy. So similar to light blue, who's the biggest puppy in the litter. So complete opposite ends of the scale in terms of where they rank with their weight in the litter, but they are both beefy, really solid girls. Actually, in this litter, these puppies are all really quite solid. It's beautiful that way. Kahlua herself is a very solid girl, and they have all inherited that quality from their mama. Now, there's the little eyes showing up. There we go, a couple of little blinks. And on the phantom markings on this little fella, you can see that the tam points do not have the striation in them. They are much more solid. And then we have the same one across the chest with some white showing. Oh, and a big yawn. And then we have that pretty little white goatee. And then we'll just put this puppy upside down for a second. And he has no problem with being upside down. And he's already giving me some eye contact, but that's just coincidence. It's not real. He can't see enough to even know that he's looking at a person right now. So that's our little purple collar boy, 709 grams. Oh my goodness, Mr. Blue, you have so much to say today. There's so much talking. I think that dark blue quite likes all the attention that he's been getting from not feeling well, because as soon as I come over and give him some tactile attention, he is quiet right away. You can see how he enjoys having his chin scratched already. Oh, yes, I think maybe you are a little bit of a mummy's boy and a bit of a fussy pot. Yeah, I do a bit of a fussy pot? Yes. No, I don't have any milk. He may also be looking for Kahlua. And last but not least on our litter is another one of these chunkies. Another big fat juicy puppy, and that's our party collar, our party puppy. But this puppy is not a party. That's what we told you before, and we lied. This puppy is a tri-phantom. So this is a puppy that is a full party, and a full phantom, but you can't see all the phantom markings because of the white party on the legs. So that makes him very special. A tri-phantom is one of the more difficult, or not more difficult, a more rare pattern to have. But now that he's a bit older, look at the side of that face, and particularly the eyebrow chits. Are those not the most adorable little markings you ever saw? Oh, it just makes you so handsome. And if we look inside his ears, very similar to our girl Dottie, there's the giveaway as well. And if we look under his bum, there's right at the very top of his tail also some phantom markings. So this guy is, as I said, a tri. And look at, there's his eyes. He's going to show all of you his eyes. Very, very pretty boy. And this guy, he has a personality and a half. He's a little bit of a sloth. He's like, oh yeah, oh, just feed me. He does eat quite a bit. He weighs 900 grams, so he's almost as big as light blue. And at times he actually, to me, seems bigger than light blue, but I think that's because of the party on his back here. So the white tends to make him look larger. Just like most of us who want to look slimmer, we know to wear darker colors. So you can see that with this puppy, with the lighter coat as compared to Mr. Light Blue Collar, he does tend to look a little bit bigger than his brother. But this is just a sweetie pie, real sweet, quiet, such a laid back fellow. Now keep in mind when I'm telling you these descriptions of them, these are not how they're going to remain. They are only just 2 weeks old, so their personalities are not yet formed. But this is just what they're showing us now. My favorite thing in this whole litter is this little beauty spot here. I'm a sucker for the beauty spots on the party. I just think they're so cool. So that's all the puppies. Now, as I said, Kahlua is out with her guardians. This is the first time that they've been here to visit with her. So they'll take her outside and say hi and spend some time with her for about a half an hour. And then Kahlua will come back in to see her babies again. It's good for Kahlua. She misses her family, of course. And normally, were it not COVID, Kahlua would be so happy to show her babies off to her mom and dad, but because of COVID, we can't have them inside our home. So they just get to see Kahlua, and Kahlua will just have to wait and introduce her puppies to them when they're, well, around 5 weeks old, when they start going outside. Look at the little tail lights on this yellow collar. Oh, isn't those cute? That's a little sweet little part of this girl. And she does have a little bit of white on her chest. When I said she didn't, she got just a little tiny feather there. And then the little tail lights. Very cute. So that's all the puppies. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to post them. I'm always happy to talk about Labradoodles and anything to do with them. Kahlua's eating well. She's eating a really nice raw diet, lots of bones as well. She has a good appetite. She prefers it if we feed her by hand. She likes to eat close to the puppies, and she will eat by herself. She sometimes will come in and eat with our other dogs, but most of the time she prefers if one of us comes in and actually feeds her by hand. The moms, were they not being fed by people, would have aunties in their group of dogs who would come and bring them food. So that's a normal sort of thing for the dogs to expect somebody to bring their food to them and to provide it to them when they are feeding their babies. So if you enjoyed our video today and you have a sec, please give us a thumbs up, and we look forward to seeing you again on our next litter update, and we hope you watch all of our other videos and our other litter updates as well. Thanks so much for watching.